Welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate, and we reveal the 2024 MotoGP champion. First on the
Really?
Yes.
Oh, this is your first time trying to catch me on the app. Oh, the fucking state of you. The absolute state of you.
The first one. Marc Marquez on the Grassini.
Yeah, no. That's just fucking terrible, man.
It's close to come to being a fanboy. Remember you said it's the only time Jake's going to get close to being a fanboy.
Yeah, 100%. And I'll piss myself laughing now because like you got to make all that effort, and it'll probably come out with a completely different livery, and you'd be like, "Oh fuck." Anyway, so just a couple of things before we kick off. People may have noticed that on Apple Podcast and Spotify and all of those that there is a daily update coming out. So I'm just trialing a thing for a couple of weeks just to see where I'm putting the daily videos out also on podcasts so that you can listen to it on your favorite podcast channels. And the video is a day behind the ones on YouTube. And I just want to see how exactly people engage with it on that. So if you do see it keep popping up, that is why and what is happening. Let's just call it, like a winter test to see how things go. Other than that, I suppose I know the big thing that you want to talk about anyway, which is Dorna being for sale. So
yes,
yeah. So let's hear what you have to think, Jake.
I don't have to think. I didn't get the money I got from being a bad businessman. It was always my forte since I was a kid. It's good. It's you got to have a fresh intake. And I know that you worry about the tech getting too much, but they're going to come in there, follow F1 because it's a
and Jake, again, like.
I
really need to clarify this with you, right? Right. It's not just me saying that the tech is unrestricted and unregulated, right? Mm-hmm. And what we're going to end up with is fucking show ponies, right? And realistically, what we want to try and do is keep the spirit of MotoGP and the essence of MotoGP, which is close racing and man and machine against the world.
Oh yeah, I do not want the thing going.
And now the other side of the thing, right? And you can go on about it all you want to, right? But these are the best riders in the world, right? We should not, while they have aids, they should not have every single aid out there to help them control the bike. If you look at others, like for example, go back 20 years ago in Formula One. The race started when everyone got there, right?
Yeah.
So there you could run every different engine type formula that you wanted. You could have a V12 3-liter. You could have a V8, V6. So inline four, whatever you wanted with a turbo, right? And while that was fine, what it was causing was that it was causing mayhem. Do you know what I mean? Like people, if you look at was it the Lotus when they started to run the side skirts? So the Brabham when they started to run the fan.
You can't go cars and bikes in there.
But I can, Jake, because right, the Formula One cars, right, have what 1,000 horsepower. There's no ABS. There's no traction control.
Yeah,
right. They have to use.
They got a traction patch on a tire.
But they do. But in the wet, it will spin just as easy as fucking MotoGP bike.
No,
100%. 100%.
And it has something to pin against. It's flat and it has something to pin against. You can slide.
Listen, use it in a race. You will see cars spinning all over the fucking place, all over the place, right? Because there is no traction control.
But they're spinning, but not going down.
Yeah, but they're beaching.
They're apples and oranges.
No, what I'm saying, Jake, is not about the aftermath of it. I'm saying about the control, right? These are the best riders in the world, right? Every rider and driver has to ride or drive to the best of their ability in the conditions that they have. If they're going to go out and fucking crack the throttle wide open, expect the fucking bike to sort it all out. Where is the skill in that?
But I don't believe there's so it's not sorting it all out. It's not.
Fuck off, Jake. Jesus, the back of the bike is dropping. The engine is cutting the power.
Yeah.
Come on.
But it's not.
You know,
not.
like you can't. But it can. And you've heard it many times where a rider has turned around and said, there was an issue with the bike. It didn't know what corner it was in. When I cracked the throttle, it was giving me full power when it should have been giving me half power.
Right. And then you get a problem, right? But that would happen no matter what.
But shouldn't that just be to the rider's brain to decide?
That's like saying, well, if the brakes go out, there's going to have a problem, so we can't have.
If the brakes go out, you have to get out or get off. In a car, you can't. You're stuck.
Yeah, we can go down the route, but you're going to have to not at the horsepower and the speed that we have. My point is, if you're going to stay that, you're going to have to cut the things back and way back, and people don't want that.
No, you don't want that, right? And what we've seen,
I'm looking at this.
If you're looking, and this is where I really don't understand it. If I'm at the side of a racetrack, it makes absolutely no fucking difference whether a bike does a 1 minute 25 or a 1 minute 30 lap.
Right, that's right. To you and I, but people that we're not the whole show. They want to get new people in there. They want to have new spectators. They don't care about us old timers. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly why they shouldn't be worried about going faster, because it's us old timers are worried about the lap times. You look at the new breed that's gone into Formula One since Drive to Survive has come in. It's like, hi, I like Sergio Perez, or hi, I'm here to see Max Verstappen. I watched him on Drive to Survive and he was brilliant. Yeah. Right? They don't know their fucking arse from their elbow.
Yeah, but they pay the bills, pal.
I'm looking at this. But that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying, Jake. The technology doesn't matter a fuck to them, or the lap time doesn't matter a fuck to them. It is a new social side of things to it. Yeah. So my point of view is
they think that it means something to them. Like you said, if they saw a purple elephant on the back of the leathers, and they thought it went a better lap time, they think it's the pink elephant. They want to see that. They want to see that. They think it's so neat when the thing does. They call it a shapeshifter. They go, "Oh, cool."
Look. That's just naming and stuff. But look, at the end of the day, all I've ever said about the tech side of things, right? And Jake, let's be fair. I'm far more technically advanced than you do know and realize, right?
No, I know. I do. But I know how technically advanced you are. Right.
But what I do see is what destroyed Formula One in the last 15 years, coming into MotoGP more and more. And that's why I'm saying it needs to be regulated. Everything needs to be regulated. A formula needs to be created.
I don't want to see it having, gyroscopes where the thing won't even, you can have those things with gyroscopes where the bike won't turn. You know that.
Well, look, the way if we don't cap it, the way we're going to get to right, is that the rider is a fucking passenger.
Yeah, if you go to an extent, but know who has more technical might have relatives that have more tech than neither one of us. My father. They are very good at what they do, and they said, being that the bike, as long as the bike has to turn, okay, the lay down to turn. You're not going to go ape shit. It's not going to go ape shit. As soon as that's what keep going back, they said, as soon as they start.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we've had two very, very good warnings. One in Qatar, and one in Valencia about downforce and braking and all of this stuff, right? And like you could see it. Pecco last front downforce in the braking zone.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a fucking hope he was stopping. It was millimeters between him and the G. And the exact same thing in Valencia. Martin last front downforce, and he nearly took Pecco. And it's for me, those are warnings. I've seen those warnings in Formula One, and I
Yeah.
know exactly what that ends up in. That ends up in, and if someone really wants to have a look at it, it's called a T-bone, right? And that's where a fucking car T-bones the other one. And those things, man, at the end of the day, I get it. I don't mind aero, and I just think if we're going to keep going along that trail of aero, it just there needs to be a regulation. As what's his name said, Scarb said, they're developing the wind tunnels now to enable the bikes to lean. So the road is rolling, the bikes are leaning. So like they're developing specific types of wind tunnels so that the bike manufacturers are going to go there. And let's be fair, right? The standard road bike users or even the standard road bikes, right? They're not going to be availing of these wind tunnels that have a rolling over it.
Use
So
them?
they're exclusively used by MotoGP teams. And now look, I remember with Formula One, 90%, a good 30 or 40% of the teams when Toyota pulled out, started using Toyota's wind tunnel in Cologne, right? Now, I would say majority of the teams have their own wind tunnel, right? You go back 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 15 years ago, 3 or 4 of them, maybe 5 of them had their own wind tunnel.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And that's where the cost of aero comes in. How much would it cost to build a wind tunnel, would you think?
Got to be millions of dollars.
Multi-millions of dollars.
Yeah.
I know that's where I go.
That's just part of the deal. Aero isn't going to go.
No one is saying aero is going anywhere, Jake, and I think that's where you need to get it out of your head. People are just saying that the problem needs to be a regulation brought in.
Oh, I agree. There has to be.
For example, like a measurement of 3 mil of downforce or 3 mil of movement on your forks. Do you know what I mean? Maximum in a straight line or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a regulations writer, but
yeah.
And then it's for the engineers, and then that's the part then that I enjoy. Is like, here's your rules and regulations that you need to abide by. Okay.
But
now go figure out how to fucking get around them.
Mac, though. All right, let me stop for a second. I do not want the aero to run amok. Okay, like I said, I would be happy for a moratorium, right? And then to keep them going around the corners without pissing. If they have any more speed, then through the electronics. I keep having a brain fart for the active suspension. Have that put it on as a supplement.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Look, I'm not stingy on rider aids, but again, look, the racing that I truly enjoy, right? And it's only done for cost, right? Let's be fair on this, right? If you look at a World Superbike bike and a British Superbike.
Yeah.
Right. The only difference is the electronics. One has everything, one has fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And for me, personally, that's the type that I like. They're still riding 250 odd brake horsepower bikes, but their head, their wrist, and their arse needs to talk to each other all at the same time.
Right. But there's a point where, just like you have how can I put an example? Like wind resistance. Wind resistance, you have points and then it goes exponential. It's like you go 160 to 170. Mm-hmm. That's where we're running into a situation with this, where you're going around in bends and all of a sudden you need that rider aid because you're just getting past a person's reflexes.
Well, no, because where I'd fight back with you on that is that if you look at the circuits for British Superbike, the barriers are an awful lot nearer the wall than in MotoGP.
One thing I was thinking I did neglect to say because I've been watching this shit forever. Remember I said the only thing that really worked is having more runoff.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing that did work was having tighter courses instead of having British Superbike has short straights, if you notice.
Yeah, but very fast corners.
Yeah, but I mean, but you have when you have the straights short, okay, you don't have that big speed. You don't get that big top speed. And
Oh, you do though. They like there's a lot of corners. Like you have you.
Let's put it
That's
this way:
right.
years and years and years ago, if you looked at the top speeds, it wasn't even that far away. They used to have straights that are like over a mile long.
It's something. It's something that I'm going to have a look at, right? And like I think gauging top speed is probably an incorrect way of doing it. I think average speed of the circuit is probably the best way to do it. And like because like there's a lot of corners in BSB that would be fast corners, and the barrier is close. So like you have an off, you're straight to the barrier. Do you know what I mean? There is no. You just hope your fucking airbag suit works, and you do. Do you know what I mean? And now look, they do have airbags there. Like one of the corners where I'm thinking, is quite a fast first corner is in Brands Hatch. There's a couple of them in Brands Hatch alone. Very, very fast. If you come off, like, you know what I mean? It's like I have seen bikes fly over the barrier and into the fucking field next door, like sort of thing, you know, or into the woods next door. Do you know what I mean? So, like for me, when I look at it, all I'm saying is, yeah, keep aero, but I think there needs to be a proper regulation put in place for people to build too. Does that make sense? Like,
well, like
doesn't mean all the bikes will look the same.
He goes, tell your boy there. He goes, it's pretty. You're pretty far away from what he's thinking, and you're justifying in your head. He says they got a pretty long way to go before the bike's riding the whole thing like a car. She says you really can't compare.
I don't know, but I look at that fucking robot in Japan, man. He's getting faster and faster.
The robot in Japan. Which one are you talking?
Oh, do you ever see the robot that rides the R1? Last time I checked, maybe it was about a year ago. Last time I checked, I think he was like about 4 seconds slower than Rossi.
Really? Yeah. But like I said,
now that is on a legit racetrack. The only problem he had was starting.
Okay.
But after that, because he can't take his feet off the pegs.
But also that thing, the second thing I'm jumping up and down and having by is, I like everything starting on a level playing field. New owner is not going to put if they're running the joint, they're not going to put up with a Honda Vito. They're not going to put.
It depends what's written into the articles. Jake.
Yeah, I know. I said if they're really running the place.
Listen, look, Liberty Media paid whatever it was, 3 or 4 billion for Formula One with the Ferrari Vito intact. So look, they will.
Ferrari's the weirdest thing. I mean, first off, Ferrari is like the only entity you ever see that is a racing company. They sell cars to race, and it's the strangest thing. Ferrari's like. You can't judge.
But there's a whole history into things, like, you know what I mean? Like
somebody was saying to me, he goes, a budget doesn't make a difference, or how many bikes somebody sells doesn't make a difference. Look at Ferrari. I said Ferrari's a whole new animal. I said,
Well, no, look, like Enzo Ferrari was very, very, very open with that. He makes cars to go racing,
right?
The car, and that was it, right? Nowadays, while that is very much so true, still in Ferrari's case, a lot of manufacturers, racing is a PR and a marketing exercise.
Yeah.
Right. And the output and the how to say, the good bit of that is that comes back from that is it is an R&D. They do win in R&D in that, but mainly. And like I was watching over the past couple of days, Stoner and them talking about it, and who else was I watching? Doing, and look, Stoner can be a bit of.
I was gonna say Stoner's a jackass, yeah.
And he can be annoying. Now, look, he did make some really, really good point. Now, look, it's from an interview a couple of years ago, but I was kind of bored, so I decided to watch bits and pieces of it. But I suppose with the new owners coming in, there is no new owners yet. That is the thing, right? And I think Gas said it the best. I think everything is for sale at the right price, right?
Yeah.
Like
Gas is coming a long way. We got to give him credit.
Esperanza was quite vocal when he said, "Look, you know, he didn't say yes, it is for sale. He didn't say no, it isn't for sale. He said we're ready if someone does want to approach us for it. The only ones that are approaching us right now are the banks to be intermediaries to the sale and all of this."
Oh, he did say again. He came out just like a few hours ago and said yes. He's affirming that it's for sale. It was on MotoGP.
Yeah. But like he did all but confirm it in that video that I did in it, right? But like, look, there's a sale the sale is a long way away.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight. That's for sure.
Exactly. Like we will not have an American racing or whatever it is. What's the name of the American one? Can't remember it now off the top of my head. You know the deal.
Laguna Seca?
No.
Indianapolis?
No. The new race team that's coming.
Trackhouse.
Trackhouse Racing. So Trackhouse Racing.
It's not like a steakhouse, and it's like a restaurant. It's come to Trackhouse.
So Trackhouse Racing. But yeah, look, I don't think it would be like a deal that he says that this week and then 2 weeks later they have. Well, I could be wrong, but look, he just said that they don't have anyone, and that's it. Now I was doing some research actually on Trackhouse Racing, and for all intents and purposes, it was 100% a ploy. They knew already they were getting rid of RNF and Razlan and crypto data at the end of the season. So my understanding now is that they didn't get rid of RNF and then start talking with Trackhouse.
Okay.
They started talking to Trackhouse Racing in Austria.
Right when crypto went under.
No, crypto didn't go under. Crypto didn't. But you remember, if you do remember,
I thought crypto went under.
No.
No.
So they started talking in Austria. Second, I can't remember how many races before it was announced. Let me see. So there was the British. So there was the Austrian Grand Prix, and that was in. I'm trying to think off the top of my head now. The Austrian Grand Prix. So it was in August. So the weekend of August, and they announced it in whatever it was, the end of November. So there was a bit of time there that they went through it and they got them involved. So it's definitely a strategic partnership, and like I'm still going along with my belief that it is. It's definitely something. I think it's funded three ways. I think if I'm honest, I think Aprilia are funding it with bikes, Dorna are funding personnel. And maybe Trackhouse are funding the marketing side of things within the US. Now, I also believe we're supposed to be getting another race in America in a couple of years.
Who? Where?
It's some. I can't remember where.
Code's a junk track. I mean,
it's a Formula One track. Yeah, it's a Formula One track, really.
But I mean, apparently the underpinnings of the foundations are all bad. Like the ground shifts, you know. So there's nothing really you can do about it. From what I'm reading, the Seco, which is pretty damn small.
Yeah, there's a new one.
Indianapolis was horrible.
Indianapolis was crap. Yeah. I was only reading the article there the other day. It's actually in Tennessee. Flat Rock Motorsport Park in Tennessee. It's only being built.
I was gonna say,
So
Christ,
24 or 24.
they've been building that for a decade. I heard about that for ages.
Yeah. So apparently there is going to be a second race in America, which, like, realistically, the blueprint that they're following is the exact same one that Formula One are following to build it to the US. I would not be surprised now next year if we start seeing more and more involvement or an English version of the MotoGP Drive to Survive happening, you know.
Hopefully America won't be bankrupt with all this DEI, diversity and equity.
Okay.
It's a mess. Don't get me wrong.
Oh well, let's wait and see. But I think they're finally realizing, yes, like, realistically, the AMA in America, while it is big, right, it's not massive. Do you know what I mean? And I believe that's part of Dorna as well.
Yeah, somebody had said that Moto America. When did they buy into Moto America?
I don't know. I was trying to find was there a purchase of it, or was it something that it was a subsidiary? I couldn't find it, but
I know they were following the same rules. They said that was done by Wayne Rainey. Started that, and he said we're going to follow the same rules as Dorna. So when everybody transitions, they'll be, the bikes, everything will be, copacetic. But that's the only thing I ever heard about it.
Yeah. It's quite an interesting one. I don't know. I believe it could possibly be true, but I can't find it linked because the company that owns Moto America is Crave Group LLC, and I know that they're in partnership with Rainey. So look,
I think I heard that story from one of the multitude of bullshit sites that are out there now. Christ, there's more bullshit sites than sites like ours. Genuine, truthful sites out there.
Yeah, I know. Look, there was I think they did sell. Yeah, but that was a good number of years ago. And where they were just saying, yeah. No, I think it's just that they're following the same guidelines. But look, Moto America, like, Wayne Rainey is doing a good enough job trying to promote it over there, but it's like they're streaming their races live on YouTube. I don't know if you ever watched them live on YouTube.
Yeah.
They're trying to give, like, what I do like about American racing, and it's in most series, is that the fans can get close to the riders or drivers or whatever it is. Like, if you go to a MotoGP race today, or if you go to a Formula One race, you're never getting near the drivers. Like, unless you have a golden pass, you're never going to get near them. And a lot of Europeans wouldn't probably pay the money. Like, I think to go VIP in a MotoGP weekend, I think for the 2 days it's like €1,700, I think.
Ouch! Did they kiss you first?
With tongue, I believe. Let me just have a quick look here if I can just find anyone there. I can't find the prices, but look, I'll find the prices because now it is interesting to see it because in the VIP ones you get brought out trackside during the practice and the races, so they bring out in a couple of BMW M5s, and you stop at each corner, so you're on the outside of the. And I would think it would be fairly interesting to see that you're that 25 feet closer to the track than the fella paying 50 quid. Like.
Yeah.
Now, saying that though, look, you do get to get pit walks and stuff like that. Like, look, if you're a real fan, it's probably not for you. Do you know what I mean? Because while you will get to see things, it's mainly about being seen there, I would think, rather than actually being there. But definitely something I'd probably try it. All right, to be fair, at some point. Be nice to do a race recap.
Yeah. Then if you do come here, you better stop in to take a ride on the RC MVF F4RC.
Yeah, well, look, yeah. I'd probably go to
That's gonna rock your world, man.
Yeah, there? So okay. Yeah, so anyway, the other thing I don't know, have you heard what Alex Marquez has said about the. So Mark obviously gave his first interview, or first words on being a Gresini rider. Yeah. And he refused to
compare bikes.
Compare the two of them. Do you know what I mean? Saying I don't do it in public and whatever. And then Alex comes out and he says, well, the Honda is like a child's bike and the Ducati is like an adult's bike. It's more comfortable, it's more stable, it's better. You're just like, oh, so definitely Alex
says too much. If they don't make they should make big, huge strides forward with all they gave them. Let's not kid anybody. If they have it,
but and this is one thing I was looking at this year, right? Alex has finished 9th in the championship, which is his highest finish ever. I think it was a 14th to 16th and a 17th last year, I think. So he hasn't done remarkably better.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either. No, he didn't. He didn't rock anybody's world. That's for sure.
He didn't. Now, look, he did take a couple of sprint race wins and whatnot, and he's had a couple of injuries. Let's be fair, but
but we never.
He's definitely not going back to Honda. Do you know what I mean? After what he said about Honda this week, he's definitely never going to go back there. Which kind of leads me into
Marquez is not going to go back to Honda either.
But Pucci turned around and said, and it's kind of a bit of a cryptic thing in it for me, is that he's like, it's not goodbye, it's see you later. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think if that Honda, I don't know.
I think not going back to Honda.
I think Mark has left Honda that he can go back if he wants to.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going. But he said that apparently that it was reported a couple places that Honda said no, he's never coming back.
Yeah, no.
But I don't believe that he came to the door. He wouldn't. But I don't think he's going.
If Honda were pissed off with him, he wouldn't have been allowed to he wouldn't have been brought to the Honda Racing Day. They would sit home and fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
That's also a face saver for Honda too. Don't forget.
No, not really, because they could have wrote a major story there about a victim story or victim impact statement, if you want to call it that. You know what I mean? How he left us in the lurch when we need him most. He's fucked off, and he's done this, that, and the other. I think I think he's left Honda on good terms. Honda, I genuinely believe that. I think Honda would
most
never.
people look at
If
that and say Honda gave Marquez a shit bike for so many years.
they're never going to say that though. Never. They can't.
Well, Honda can't say it, but the general public says that.
Oh yeah.
You know,
But still saying that like Honda don't really worry about the general public in Europe. They only worry about the general public in Japan.
no, I don't believe that. They worry about PR everywhere. They're a PR monster.
No. They are a PR monster, but what's going around in the Japanese newspapers, they read more and care about more than what's going on in a story in Europe. Guaranteed.
Well, I'll guarantee. Yeah, you're right about that. Right, but they are PR monsters. I mean,
but look, any company like that is.
They're this way. They're known to be real pricks about it. Christ, they have non-disclosure. I mean, there's a $60,000 clause that says if you badmouth us, we're going to nail you. You have a fine.
But that's everywhere, Jake.
The only company I know that I've read that had that was Honda. I think Yamaha has it.
No, every company has it. Every single company where you're a PR or sorry, where like even majority of companies that you work for nowadays have what would it be called?
A slander clause.
No, it's not a slander clause. No, it's basically about projecting the company in a positive light at all times.
Yeah, right. Well, slander clause, whatever. Put it in a positive light.
There is that goes from every Joe Soap's contract to every influencer contract to whatever. And of course, look, these guys on MotoGP bikes, these riders, they are PR machines, right? If they come out and they say, buy this helmet,
yeah,
their fans will buy that helmet because they told them to buy that helmet if they can afford it, of course.
Yeah, Niall Mackenzie's son ran a team, and his rider got hit for that $60,000 fine from Honda.
Niall
Mackenzie, his son, what's his name? Yeah. Son,
Taylor
Mackenzie. He ran a motorcycle team, and his rider got pissed off and said the Honda stinks. They won't go around a bend, and they hit him for the $60,000 fine. It was a big thing on YouTube.
Yeah, he does. He.
Oh, I got to say before I forget, just because it was good news. They came out with sales figures. Okay, super bikes. The third biggest seller, right, was BMW, right? Mm-hmm. Second largest was, get this, Ducati V4, the V4S. Guess who was the number one? The Aprilia RS V4. Mm-hmm. That's a shocker. It was always the best bike that nobody ever bought. Number one selling.
I don't know though, because like for years I see a lot of Aprilia RSs around here. Do you know what I mean? So like they're very common in it. Although I don't think we have a main dealer here. I think we get it up in Dublin. Yeah. I do see
a new aero package on it, new paint job, and they kept the price the same. That was another thing. They kept the price reasonable. The regular one's 17, and the factory was 25. But then people could buy a premium bike for the same amount of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was good for such a small company. Good news. And
you must send me on the list there, because I want to go through some of the bikes.
And then the RS 660 was their RS 660 was the number one selling 600cc in Europe. We knew that one went over well right from the get-go. But I was really surprised that the RS4 came,
Yeah, because like when I look at the RS 660, what actually impresses me about the RS 660, obviously it's a twin. Is it? Is it a twin or what is it?
It's a twin.
It is a twin, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But she comes out. I think they come out around 105 brake horsepower, which is not bad out of the box. When you look at The Yamaha R6 comes out with like 115 from the crate. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? Which there's not a lot of. No, there's probably a good couple of grand in getting the 660 to a standard R6 in development, but yeah,
Well, you
it is
ain't gonna
the
get that twin to match that 4-cylinder. That's for sure.
no,
That ain't gonna
maybe
happen.
on a go-kart track.
Yeah, but then again, it costs $10,000 versus I don't know how much the R6 is now.
The R6, I don't know in dollars, but I think they're about 12 or 14,000 euros anyway. You know.
Yeah, 14 there. It's a big jump, and you know what? The
Well,
reliability
it depends.
is
It
not doing
depends.
so well. But
Huh?
they tell me that all the track guys tell me that the R6 they're looking back for the older R6s because the new ones they're having problems with the transmissions.
But they're the same. The
Yeah,
engine,
that's
the
what I
engine,
thought.
the
That's what I
engine
thought.
is the same. Yeah, the engine
I
is the
thought
same.
but they said there's something wrong. I know they had a recall on the 2019. Now, why would they have it on the 19 and nothing else? I don't know.
Yeah. I looked, they could have put a washer or fucking something stupid into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not
it's not like
necessarily.
the CBR 1000 RRR. That thing's a fucking mess. Excuse my
I'm
language.
actually.
The
I
RR
so
is good, but the triple R is just a disaster on wheels.
yeah. There is a Honda dealer near me actually, and trying to, but I don't ever think that he's even seen a fucking triple R. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like where I live, or I wouldn't say. I would just say that there's not a lot of premium bikes out there. Do you know
Oh,
what I mean? There's
okay.
already standard enough.
Well, it has the
Um,
inherent
because
heat
because
problem.
because
Yeah.
life is a little bit different. I don't know if people know this, but in Ireland, for example, you can't get a bank loan for a bike.
Yeah, that's just on America. You get loans for anything,
You know, so you can get a credit union loan and all of that. Well, but some places are slow to come out. Let's just say so. It's not like or financing bikes. You can at some, but like they're fucking
I'd love to
rock
see you
price.
try a Triumph 675 triple.
I
I
rode.
personally that's biased because I love triples.
Are you talking the 765?
Well, there's a 765, but that's expensive. The 675 is cheap.
I rode the 675 3.
Oh, did you? How'd you? Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought you'd love
yeah.
that.
That's the. It started off. It had the exhaust under the tailpan, and then it moved to it out the side.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but I felt, and this is just being so used to I think to the Yamaha more so than anything else. I felt I couldn't trust the front because it was so light and narrow. Does that make sense compared to what I
Yeah,
was used
yeah,
to?
yeah.
So I felt a little bit uneasy on the front. Do you know what I mean? But then saying that, I wasn't pushing it like I'd push the Yamaha either. Do you know, it wasn't my fucking own to crash. Do you know what I mean? So lot different mentality.
And you can never get to that 10th on a ride. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
never could. I could never go. It took me time to get up to speed to get to that. You
Hmm.
know.
You'd have to have a bike for him. I think 2 to 3 months to be able to get it up to ride it like you fucking stole it. You know what I mean?
And I am not a jockey, so I can I was always at a disadvantage. Forget out breaking anybody. Forget it. You know what I mean? If I went to match the braking with those little guys, I was picking sand out of my ass. Because there's no way.
Just get up the inside of him, Jakey.
Yeah, and I just keep going as they go around the bend. I go straight.
Yeah, but if you get up the inside of them, you take them fucking with you.
Yeah.
That means you still beat them. You beat them to the gravel trap. You know.
He said I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger on a 10-speed.
Yeah. Look, it's an interesting taking things in the air. Look, I did ride that one. I'd love to ride the 765.
The 765 has the durability record that'll never be passed.
Well,
In
yeah, but
Moto
look,
get this. There's 30 bikes on there, right? They have 20 races a year. In 4 years, you know how many DNFs they've had? 4.
4.
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, Christ, it's like an anvil, for God's sake. I thought
Oh
it
yeah,
must.
well look that, but how would I say? But it's not what is expected.
4
Do you know
and
what I mean?
4. They
No,
usually
what I mean is that
have
like
race, which makes
these
sense.
bikes should be like, if you're supplying the bike to the Moto 2
Mhm.
paddock, right? Those engines are realistically expected to be bulletproof.
The CBR 600 wasn't. They didn't even were close. They had
Yeah,
like
but that wasn't that. No. Hold on, before you go, cool your fucking jets now. Before you go blasting down the Honda road.
No, it
It
wasn't. I
wasn't.
thought they didn't do bad. But it
No.
wasn't
But it wasn't done by Honda. They took CBR 600 engines, and
right. Who
another
did it?
company supplied them. It
No,
wasn't. Yeah. So just before you go
no,
down
I
that
wasn't
route,
going to
it was.
blast them. They didn't do bad, but it wasn't like they had a bunch of DNFs. It wasn't bad. I don't blast Honda just because they're Hondas.
I know that, yeah, but it wasn't. It wasn't actually supplied by HRC. Here you go. There's the engines. It was
Oh,
actually
okay.
it was
But
road engines or whatever supplied to,
like there was
because
like their bike was like normal, dependable. But that Triumph is like unbelievable, dependable. It's just that's insane.
yeah. No, look, yeah, I think it's pretty interesting. I also I must tell you, I absolutely fucking love Alex Rins. I think he is just so funny. Like, I just think he is fucking brilliant. Like, and he has got, I would think, an awful lot of stick about leaving Honda to go to Yamaha, as you could probably imagine. So much so that he had to come out and say, I didn't quit. I didn't quit Honda. Do you know what I mean? There was a clause in my contract, and I did say this at the time when he was leaving, that he did have a clause in his contract that if he got an offer from a factory team, he could break the contract with Honda. Now, I personally believe Honda have made a massive fuck up in letting him go.
Me too.
And
Yes,
I think, as much as I like Marini, I think Rins on the Repsol would have been very good. He, in my view, he is one of the only riders that have been able to bridge the V4 and the inline 4 gap. And the way he rode the bike was very, very different. Yes, Honda's star rider was Marc Marquez. Alex Rins is the only one to win a race, and genuinely win a race on a Honda.
Yes, he did.
He genuinely, at his first attempt at that track. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where, and for me, it
wasn't an attrition race. He won that race.
He won that race. Peckup made a fucking mistake and crashed. Yeah. Rins genuinely had the pace and won the race.
Yeah, but am I saying there wasn't like 4 or 5 guys ahead of him either who broke down, or you know what I mean?
No. Like he genuinely won it, and he got a big fucking slap during the year. Then when he was talking about Honda, saying, you're not using me, use me. And I think this is where Honda really missed a thing with him, is because he was the only one that was able to bridge that. Like, he was way ahead of Beer. Show what I mean? 9 times out of 10 better than Nakagami. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he was technically he was a rightful number 2.
Yeah.
Marquez, and Marquez, while he had some strong races in the year, wasn't there for most of the year. So they should have been using Rins as much as possible to develop the bike, and they didn't.
Yeah, what's the point of if Marquez is not coming up? He's not there. Why not use him? Why have him sitting on the bench, more or less? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, they gave the equipment, and I suppose this is where Honda's problem is.
Do well, by the way, at Yamaha. I think he's going to do better than most people think at Yamaha.
I think so too. I think he's going to push Fabio very, 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 very hard. And he's saying the right things now. And I criticized Mir last year for saying one thing as a rider or a racer, right? Or probably even as a boxer, right? If you privately know someone's going to beat the shit out of you, or someone has your number in racing, you keep that.
You know they're better than you. They're technically better than you. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
You keep that private. You don't go out in public and say, "Oh well, Marc Marquez is the best rider in the world, and I'm so delighted to be his teammate." And
like, you don't come out and say he's going to.
Like you put yourself in the number 2 position straight away, regardless of whether the team have put you there anyway. You're fucking helping them, right? In my view. So when I look at it, how would I say? What Rins has done is he's like, I'm just going to follow Fabio. Do you know what I mean? I'll take his parts. And what he's actually saying there is, I'll beat him at his own setup. do you know what I mean? Do you know, like, the bike is obviously designed around Fabio and what he wants, which is probably right. You know, he's coming into the team. The bike is going to be geared towards his teammate.
Right.
You know, and, you know, we'll just have to make the maximum out of that and go for it. And what it's tactically saying, in my view, there is that I'm going to beat Fabio on Fabio's own bike. You know what I mean? I'll take those parts. I'll do it. Like,
and I think he's more of an inline rider than a V rider.
I don't know though. He was able to bridge the gap that he wasn't quite a V rider and he wasn't quite an inline rider on the V4. So he still had the arcing lines, but they weren't as arcing, if you know what I mean. And he got the best out of that Honda, I think.
Yeah, as best you're going to get.
Until he broke his leg.
Yeah.
And the tib and the fib issue which was
Honda, by the way, as a race team, I don't like the corruption in their. I don't like the corruption of the corporation. That's what really gets under my skin. Because you don't see me giving Yamaha hell the same way.
Yeah, you know? But look, I think in every form of racing, there is massive corruption.
Yeah, but they take it to the next. They've gotten to the point where they've done it so long, they're lazy at it. If you get my drift, they expect it, and it's
but look, there's of course, look, there is that, but I think that's
they've been doing it so long they get away, you know.
But like, if you look at any form of major motorsport, like, if you look at Ducati start winning for another, just say, keep winning for another 5 or 6 seasons, right, on the bounce, they automatically become the strongest force in the business, right?
Yeah, but they shouldn't have given him hell for winning one season. As soon as they won,
of course they did. But look, that's like if I hired you as my team manager, I would expect you to be moaning and bitching about every single success that any other team would have.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
and that's all that goes out. That's all.
But let's put it this way. I'm really into Dorna because Dorna, it just folds on them. They just give them what they want, you know, and that's money deal right there. That's why I said.
What Dorna are very worried about, realistically, is if Honda pulls, Yamaha will go to. If Yamaha pulls, Honda will go to.
You think so?
Yep, 100%.
They weren't always together years ago. They were Yamaha and Honda were separate years ago.
Yeah, but see, if you look at it, remember, let's say, go back 2 years, maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
The likes of Facebook and Amazon and Instagram and fucking Indeed or whatever, all these fucking major Twitter, all these corporations.
Yeah.
They couldn't be seen to be cutting staff, as that would be a bad sign for shareholders at whatever, right?
Right.
And then I think it was Dell or one of those ones did it, and they are Microsoft, and they culled fucking 15,000 staff or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And they framed it in such a way that it was actually going to save the company money.
Okay.
Right? And then it became a trend thing to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's
Sometimes they get
that
too much fat, and it does a lot of times it does save them.
it is, but the way they pictured it, rather than that they were leaving 18,000 people go or affecting whatever, let's say 50,000 lives, right?
Yeah.
That what they were doing was that it was a smart business decision,
Mhm.
and it was going to be all positives for the company and all of this, which maybe it was financially, I don't know, right? But it became, instead of the trend of it being a negative, that you're leaving X amount of people go because you don't have to work or whatever, or so growth has slowed in whatever sectors.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now it became a trend. So then Amazon did it, all of these places did it, do you know what I mean? And then it's like, now it's so not even frowned upon, do you know what I mean, by investors or people, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I still, and I think that's the way things will go with
But
whatever.
that's tech too. Tech got real fat, by the way. You know that, right?
I do, yeah. I know. I get it. The tech got fat, and it's not about what actually was happening in the industry. It is
Right.
more so that it was always frowned upon by investors.
Yeah, it was.
If you grew too big too fast, that
Right.
instead of that, you made a bad business decision by growing that fast when you didn't actually need to.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? It was reversed in the way of, oh, aren't we great business people now? That this is such a positive thing for the company, and and instead of it having a negative impact in the company, PR wise,
Right.
it's actually a positive. But you know, look, I always had kind of storytelling as
I went to Wharton, right? Not to brag, and I get lost anymore. I mean, the stock market's at a record high, and I can't even tell you why. I mean, that's bad. I mean, that's, you can say, is it speculation? Even when you say it's speculation, there should be certain things that cause the speculation. There should be certain underpinnings of the game. We don't have that. It's just don't get me started.
Anyway, so on that dramatic bombshell, we will end today's show. I am still, as always, going to look to have a couple of guests on over the next couple of weeks.
You need to get gas onto a bike. You know that? Gas needs to buy a motorcycle to ride.
What do you need to give him a Christmas present of a motorcycle?
Yeah, he needs that
motorcycle.
whatchamacallit, the Triumph Speed 400. That would be a good bike for him.
You could buy it for him. Anyway, so look, we would definitely want to look at getting people on. If you want to come on, just email me on motogpmac@gmail.com and we will have a chat. But until that, see you all guys next week.